Oh boy, what up, what up, what up? It's Ravens Steelers week. We're tied for first. It's December. You would think Ravens fans and Steelers fans are in a great mood. Everybody's excited. But not exactly, right, Justin? It's both teams are falling. Depends on how you want to look at it. You can find some positives, but we're gonna start actually with the Steelers. We'll work our way back to the Ravens here, and then we'll go over your picks. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And talk to me. What did you see? Steelers played the Bills. They got their ass kicked. You hate the Bills. So if anything,
Yeah.
you had to be, I think, somewhat surprised because it felt like, man, the Bills don't have their offensive tackles. The Steelers' defense should be able to put some pressure on them. Instead, the Bills just run right down their throat. So as we look forward, you're like, I guess we should just do that. But it's never that simple. So go ahead. What were your thoughts on the game? And then what do you see this week? Steelers Ravens.
Yeah. Within the Steelers game, I mean, I personally don't think either team is great. So going into the game, I could have seen either team winning. Obviously, the Bills were the favorite. Probably deserve to be because Steelers, I feel like, are never favored against any decent opponent. But yeah, I mean, they just, I mean, one, go back to the other side of the ball. They don't have an offense and haven't for years. Like, I don't know why they thought bringing in Rodgers would do anything because they still can't move the ball consistently, can't create big plays, can't. It's so, their offense is just so vanilla, and not even vanilla. It's just bad. It's like the one word you describe it is just bad, and it's uncreative, and they just can't make plays. So like on that side of the ball, I swear I didn't watch the full 60 minutes of that game, but I swear every time I tuned in, the Bills had the ball. It was pretty crazy.
It did feel like that. It did feel like that.
Yeah, and in the first half, back to the defensive side of the ball, that was the only way the Steelers stayed in the game. Which the first few drives they created some pressure on Josh Allen, and that's when he threw a pick. And I think they had something else happen, and then the Steelers ended up taking the lead. And I swear, this will kind of go into our game already, but the only way the Steelers ever beat a decent opponent is if they create turnovers, and that is the only way. That's like the only thing that they do well. And
Ironically, that's how they lost to Buffalo because they were fine playing that game 7-3, and if Rodgers,
correct, and then on the other hand, they can't themselves lose the ball and have teams have the short field on them because it's just not a good recipe. Because they're rarely going to win the yardage game. They're rarely going to win the time of possession game. They need to win the turnover game to have any shot. Which, yeah, and I'll say this again when we preview our game, but we cannot turn the ball over. That's their only chance.
yeah. But what do you think so I have a feeling, and this is just, I guess it's the Steelers week. They always make me anxious. They always make me nervous. But offensively, I expect somewhat of a bounce back game from them. I get what you're saying, but when I look at how they do get the offense rolling or what they're actually good at, it makes me a little nervous that it's a solid matchup for them against us. I want to see our linebackers cover in space. We're going to face a ton of screens, tight end screens, running back screens. It feels like Rodgers might revert back to using the tight ends more based on some of his post-game comments about his receivers. And yeah, when the Steelers look bad, they definitely look bad. But I want to focus because I still think we're going to have to score a few touchdowns there. Like I don't want to put it, especially how many days or weeks, games in a row is the defense going to continue to bend without breaking. So I want to go into this thinking like we're going to have to score a few more points than maybe it seems obvious based on the way the Steelers played last week. So when you go to the other side, the Steelers were without their rookie defensive tackle Harmon, who I guess apparently accounts for that big of a problem, right? The Bills literally just running the same play, it felt like over and over and over again.
Yeah, which it goes back to last year, and they were trying to correct this problem. They had this exact problem last year where they could not stop the interior run, and that's why they drafted Harmon. Because if you remember back to when the Ravens played him late in the season, in the regular season, and the playoffs, we ran all over them with Henry, and I think that was a big focal point for them in the offseason was correcting that run defense.
Yeah, so I know it might not be the most popular thing for Lamar to want to do, but if we would just go back to the 2019 offense, And this is what I wanted to ask you. Why do you think we don't run the offense? Because to me, it's just because Lamar doesn't want to run the offense. But as soon as you take away the read option, the Ravens go from being unstoppable to, well, I guess if Lamar's off a little bit, maybe you can get the Ravens. Because the best play was the read option. They got a million guys to run it with. Derrick Henry just happens to be the best one potentially in the NFL to run it with. But they still have all these other guys. But without Lamar as a threat to run, Jesus, I mean, we're just average passing team. We re-signed Mark Andrews, which is, I don't know if that's like a feel-good locker room move. Like it's a feel-good move for him, but it's almost like taking money away from some other people that wanted it. It was kind of a weird timing. I just wish all the focus was on running the football. So I know I'm blabbering here. I don't even know if I have a direct question. I'm just frustrated that it feels like not the 10 carries for Derrick Henry. I get it. It's the circumstances. Just the mentality of, can't we just run the football up the middle on first and second down every time?
I get part of what you're saying. But, like, also back in 2019, when the team could stop that, you had no chance. So that's why we kind of tried to expand the offense. And we
Nobody
do
stopped
have the
us.
potential to be a great passing team. We've had that
Nobody-
for 2 years.
But nobody stopped us that year. That was the thing. Nobody stopped us.
Until the playoffs, though.
I thought we stopped ourselves as soon as we threw the ball to Mark Andrews. It was intercepted.
That's true, but and it's slightly different game. Like I didn't like the Greg Roman offense. I think we could be better than that. We should be, and we have the potential to also be a good running team. But also, Lamar is still a great passer. Like, he's having a bad few weeks and he's hurt or whatever you want to say. But clearly, he has got the potential, and we have enough weapons, I think, to be a big threat, both running the ball and passing the ball. So, to me, I don't. We should run the ball more. We should have ran it more last week. There's certain games that this just happens where we stop running for whatever reason, and we're down like a possession, let's say.
They better run this football. I'm telling you, they better run this football this week against us. They cannot. Oh Lord, I hear what you're saying, and I just don't. Lamar has got to be in rhythm for things to go the right direction. When he starts running around and making plays, that's all great. But when he's at his best, he's in some rhythm, and the offensive line is built to be a run-blocking offensive line.
That's true. I agree.
So it's just we're setting ourselves up. Every time he drops back to throw, I get nervous now.
Yeah, and to your point with that, and again, in this particular matchup too, every time we drop back to throw, you have the threat of one Watt or Highsmith coming around creating a turnover or a sack.
The other guy, Herb,
or him too.
You always got a bunch of guys. Anyway, keep going.
Or like when we pass the ball, we clearly have more tendency to turn it over, which is not what you want to do, especially in this game. You don't want to have a lot of pressure in a tip ball situation that gets picked off or a strip sack, any of that type of stuff. So running the ball is the safer play to not turn the ball over. But yeah, you can't. I do think we should focus on the run this game, but obviously you can't only run the ball. You got to mix in some pass too to keep them honest. But it's clearly their weakness, especially if they have some of these guys still injured.
Why do you think they re-signed Andrews yesterday or whatever?
I don't even know if we need to get into that. I don't really get it, but I won't. It's kind of like the Grayson Rodriguez thing. I need to see what else happens. Like, if Likely gets the same amount of money, I don't understand the decision. If he somehow gets more, then okay, maybe that's where we're going with it. But I think I saw Andrews, at least for now, would be like the 6th highest paid tight end. He's too old for that. So I don't really know. I think Likely has a lot.
Why?
Likely's like 5 years younger than him. So
yeah, no, I get that, but I'm asking like just why now? Anyway, what do you think the logic was?
I don't know, really. I don't.
Because to me, it sounds like you're like trying to rally the troops. Like, here we are, and it's like I don't know if I'm not saying people don't like Mark Andrews, but like he's already made money. So if it was Zay Flowers or if it was
Linderbaum,
Wiggins, or somebody that just didn't get paid,
haven't gotten a contract yet.
Then I think that the whole locker room's like, we're super happy. Now you're buying your first. I think about money. I don't know, because everybody thinks about money. So sometimes we like eliminate the fact that because they make so much money that they don't think about it. So I just looked at the Mark Andrews re-signing as like, was there another team that was going to re-sign him on the first? Like, did we not have a window? Like, what are we doing? It seemed like not having the right focus on the game, even though I know it's the front office doing that. It was weird to me. And anyway, all right, let's go through your games because it's the middle of the day and we all have a bunch of things to do. I want to finish out this football season on a slightly better note than what we've been doing. Last week for me was I blame myself because when you take bad teams, bad things happen. I always give you shit for taking bad teams.
Like I did again with the Titans. I'm done with that.
All the bad teams.
And the Jets won, so you never know.
I almost want to bet every dollar I have left here. So the Jags now are like a gigantic favorite to make the playoffs. You can get almost like 3-1 against them because they probably get in with 10 wins, and they have the Jets and the Titans left.
And someone else needs to do it, I think.
But I would just absolutely not be surprised whatsoever if they do what they did the other year and just find a way to win one more game and miss the playoffs. So.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I thought where you were going was, I mean, they have a good chance to either win the division or get the 5 seed. And in my crystal ball of hope, I want us to win the division, get the 4, and have Jacksonville be the 5 seed.
No,
I think they suck.
We're not doing. We're 5 weeks away. You know what? This is ridiculous. This is again ridiculous. You can't jump 5 weeks playing the Steelers. I refuse to even think about anything the week after. The Jags, the Chiefs. Can't believe you even said that. Go ahead. What are your 5 picks for this week? Because you know what? I'm even more annoyed than I was after the Ravens game because you're like the 9th person now that's like, no, the Greg Roman offense was terrible. I never said that this offense wasn't like capable, like the ceiling's higher. I get it. But now there's a couple years on the film, and there seems to be some counters for the Lamar passing game. And there's just never a counter for speed. So we could just run the ball, and I don't know, the other team can't stop it. That's what I watched in 2019. It's evolved into the AFC Championship. I'll make my final point, and then I'll shut up. It evolved all the way to we got to a higher ceiling with the AFC Championship offense against the Chiefs. That's fair. Then we got into that game, and the Greg Roman offense in that game probably would have won the game. So that's my whatever. We don't have to agree. You just make me yell at the wall again later today. But go ahead. What are your 5 picks for this week? Who we got?
Yeah, let's go to the 5 picks. I'm starting with tonight. Although I have been higher on the Cowboys than most, and I kind of want them to make the playoffs. I have a ticket on them to make it at almost 3-1. Did that before the year. But I think the market correction on this game has gone too far. I think before Thanksgiving, the spread was 6.5 or 7. Now it's down to 3, and the Lions are desperate. And I think the Lions can find success offensively against the Cowboys and score enough to win this game. And so I'm taking the Lions -3.
What a great Thursday night game.
Oh, yeah, it's a great one. Both teams need it. Loser is in trouble.
The Cowboys are, I mean, unless you think the Eagles are completely imploding, I would say the Cowboys are definitely out. And the Lions, as much as I've dived into the playoff stuff on everybody besides the Ravens, I'm willing to say I try, to be careful about this because you watch sports forever and you don't like to make blanket statements. But I do think it's an elimination game. I think there's just too many good, NFC teams that it is a rare elimination game here for 5 games left for both of these.
Definitely could be. I mean, I got to see who Detroit's got left. I know they have the Bears another time, I believe.
They lose the tiebreaker with the Packers.
They got at the Rams next. Then they got the Steelers. So hopefully they help us out there. And then at Manning and at Chicago. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, this very well if they lose, they might have.
Plus, I think it's just the Lions. If they lose again tonight,
they've been bad twice in a row at home now.
So you like the Lions? What do you think the game plan is for the Cowboys? Just throw the ball all over the place, like what the Packers were able to do.
Yeah, I mean that, and they obviously have the offense to do it. But on the other side of the ball, you gotta do what Green Bay did. I don't know if they have the horses to do it, but stop Gibbs. That's the lines where they run through is Gibbs.
Yeah, I don't know about this game. I'm gonna dive into it. I don't think I'm making.
It's a good game. I mean, I don't blame anyone for not having a strong opinion on it, but yeah, I like the Lions.
Alrighty, next one.
And then we'll go with one of the shittiest games of the week. And speaking of bad teams, there's 2 bad teams in this game, but I'm going with the one that's better. The Titans are I think they're the worst team I've seen in the past 10 years. And I know I don't usually like to, in a bad game, I don't usually like to give the points, but I'm doing it. I think this is a good spot for the Browns at home again. Shedeur has shown some flashes. I think they scored enough. Honestly, if they scored 13 points, they probably win this game. I really don't
Okay,
think the Titans are doing anything. So,
but why did the Browns go for 4th and 1 last week? Did you
I
see
don't
that?
know. I think Stefanski's trying to prove something. I feel like all AFC North coaches could. There's reasons to let them all go.
Okay, so here's the thing though. It's 4th and 1. It's the second quarter. It's 10-8. Let's just say they get it. They're on their own 33. Let's just say he gets 4 yards. Great play call. It's 1st and 10 on your own 37. We're
Right,
still like an 80% chance we're not going to score on that drive because it's fucking terrible weather and you're the Brown.
I don't get it. Like, you punt the ball and you get your defense back.
He's on my list now of I gotta start having a list and sticking to it. I violated it last week by taking the Falcons. I didn't violate with the Titans because that was more of a whatever his name was, Callahan. That was I refused to bet on him. But I now refuse to bet on Stefanski. Like that is a criminal thing to do. You can't be that stupid. I can't understand that kind of stuff. Anyway, you want to take the Browns -4 against the Titans. I can't stop you because the Titans are a disaster. I thought they put up a fight against the Jaguars.
I thought they would.
That was the least thing of a fight I've ever seen. So yeah, the Browns -4 is your second.
I think the Titans. I haven't totally looked, but I bet their team total over under is 10. So
the game's in Cleveland. Yeah, I would imagine it's the weather.
Yeah, Myles Garrett might get 5 sacks again.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Third game.
Next, we'll go with. I'm trying to go in time order. That's 4 o'clock game. That's 4 o'clock also. You know what? I'm gonna. Okay, yeah. So this is a game of I'd say below average teams, but I think the Vikings are in worse shape than the Commanders. I think the Commanders had a great fight, even with their back. Like Mariota's probably one of the best backups in the league. So I don't know Jaden Daniels' situation, but I'm gonna guess Mariota. They're leaning him to start again, and I think Washington can beat Minnesota. Minnesota's in QB shit show land. Whoever they're starting is just way below average, and their defense has been okay, but they literally can't do anything on offense. So I think Commanders could definitely take this game, and I think it's 2 points.
Yeah, I think everybody in the NFL agrees. I mean, Jesus, Kevin O'Connell, it's how fast things can change. You go from Coach of the Year, genius, to ego-driven, probably get one more chance to figure this out with McCarthy or if he wants to bring in somebody else. But the Vikings are a flaming disaster, and they have a lot of older players. I don't know what the cap situation is, but I bet you their team's worse next year.
Yeah.
All right. And what's your fourth game?
Fourth game, I'll save another one for last. I like the Raiders in this division underdog home spot. Denver's obviously they're good, but they're clearly they don't beat teams by a lot. I think they've won 5 or 6 in a row by one possession. They eked out another one last week, and they just tend to play these close games. And I tend to like underdogs, and especially division game. The Raiders played them really tight last time in Denver, and now it's in Vegas. I think getting 7.5 is a lot. I know the Raiders they're not good, but I think they'll get up for this game and keep it close, or maybe pull up the upset because Denver's bound to lose.
I would take the Raiders this week if I didn't take them last week. So now I'm emotionally scarred from watching that second half. It was 7-7 halftime.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks. All your bets are just reliving 4 days ago for me, so this is great. All right, Raiders plus 7.5. You're probably right. I actually kind of like that spot for the Raiders there. They hate each other. Broncos are short week, so
yeah. This is Raiders like if you want to call it a Super Bowl. Like they're 2-10, they suck, but they're like nothing more than to knock Denver down.
I agree with you. And last game you got?
Last game, you know where I'm going with this. I know 6 is a lot, but I truly think we're
6.
Not significantly better, but we're a better team. We're at home. I don't think they put up enough points. I think if we get to 27, I think we put this out of hand. That's where I'm hoping we can get to. So I'm taking the Ravens -6.
Okay.
Not many people will be comfortable with that, but I'm giving us one more shot here.
I have a weird confession. Now that you just made me, I kind of forgot about it, and then I was like, man, it'd be funny to talk about, and then you just made me remember it again. I had a weird dream that Justin Tucker was on the Dolphins. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a nightmare. Maybe like the Dolphins are going to make a run or something, and he's kicking a field goal. But I've been thinking about this week. This to me is we did all this hyperbole on the Ravens in the middle of their losing streak because it felt like when they were 1-5, if they lost one more of those games, Zach Orr's got to get fired, or Harbaugh's got to get fired, or Lamar's never going to come back.
Yeah.
And now that we're here 6-6, I can't wait for this game because the ramifications for this game are outrageous. Now that everything's played out the way it has, there's no real good teams in the AFC besides that weak Patriots team and the weak Broncos team. So I feel great about that. And then I also feel like if we lose this week, why don't we just fire the coach tomorrow? Just
We
be
should fire
fucking.
everyone if we lose this week.
You know what I mean? Because it's like one or the other. Like either this is the type of team that could just make the run and just be done with it, go to the Super Bowl this year and have some fun. And it will feel like the 2012 team. You know, we have short memories, but if you go back, Broncos kicked our ass. We fired the offensive coordinator. 0% chance we were going to the Super Bowl was the sentiment. And that's how it felt after the Bengals just beat us. It's like, yeah, we can win the division maybe because the division sucks, but we can't go to the Super Bowl, like not with a team like that. So they do have a chance to change that narrative. And if you're right and they cover a 6.5-point spread, I'll be the first one to think that we're headed to the Super Bowl because of the AFC. But if they don't win that game, I'm not going to hold back. I'm just going to say I don't even care how they lose the game. I just want immediate changes because it's just ridiculous. With the way they played on Thanksgiving was absolutely ridiculous. So I can't wait for the game. I would predict that 6.5 points is a ton of fucking points. I can't believe you want to give 6.5 points, but if you want to do it, good for you.
It's 5.5 to 6 everywhere I see.
Geez, 6.5, whatever. I don't know if I'd give 1.5 at this point, but all right, we'll see how it plays out. Thank you.
To your point, back to what you're saying about 2012, it's just it's a big difference, but the difference is we started that year 9-2, so we were like way ahead of everything, and then we had the bad losing streak and got our asses kicked by the Broncos. So like even when all shit was falling, we were still in the playoffs. All we had to do was win like the last game. Our division was weak that year too, and we just kind of fell back into the playoffs. And then like we had the talent on the team to make a run. So like in that instance, we know we're a talented team, but like this is playoffs starting now. We have to win this game, and if we don't, it's probably not going to happen. And if we win, you could say we're back on track and we're a clear driver's seat to win the division and get the 4th seed, and you have a home game. And then AFC is not great this year. Anything can happen as long as you get in.
You're the man. Thanks for popping on.
Yeah.
See you next week. Enjoy the game tonight. You got the Lions. I'll put out any bets that I have here in a little bit. And good luck to you guys. And thanks again, buddy.
Yep, no problem. Go Ravens. I'll be there on Sunday.
Yeah, good. At least somebody's there.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.